pledge allegiance.
Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call. I am here. Vincelette is here. Sunni Hepburn is here. Shevlin is here. Mr. Moore is absent. I need a motion to approve the agenda. So moved. Motion by Vincelette, seconded by Hepburn. Reports. Let's go with CSEA, please.
Hi, so I'm here to speak about the CSEA and just some respect issues. Everyone wants quality employees, they say quality employees, but then they do things that show us disrespect. Today we saw on the agenda that there are 5 paraeducators that have been switched place to place. We were told that this was due to possible layoffs. Looking at the issue about layoffs, there has to be lack of funds or lack of work. I appreciate the fact that you guys did get rid of the behavior program, but there was obviously not a lack of work as everyone is still hired. They used that to switch up 5 positions, 3 classroom paraeducators, 2 one-on-ones. The issue with this is during one layoff, we had issues because they were trying to not lay off any one-on-ones. The district at the time told us that's because one-on-ones are hired for a specific student and therefore they could not lay off one-on-ones. We said if this is your stance on it, this is going to be how it needs to stay. And here you are, the district is transferring. The only possible solution for them to say was layoffs. But as we can see, layoffs wasn't necessary, there were positions. Only 1 classroom para should have been affected. You have 2 one-on-one paras and 2 classroom paras that were swapped positions, and then 1 classroom para that was swapped position, or that was changed over to a one-on-one. So there's obviously work. We ask that you put on hold voting on those 5 positions until we can discuss this further with the district and get this resolved.
Is there anything we can discuss right now?
That would have to be.
I would prefer to have Cheryl here when we discuss that, and they're in a parent meeting this evening.
We could table that session.
So August 3rd would be
So let's pull that. I agree, let's pull it. I don't want any disrespect. I don't want you to feel that we disrespected you. I don't think there's any layoffs, but sometimes there is a necessary to move people and switch people. And I don't know the complete stance on that. So before, if I could hear a little bit of something on that, I'm okay with let's postpone it. Let them discuss it a little bit longer, and we'll bring it back. If everybody else is, I'd like to know a little bit more about it. But I do understand that sometimes we just have to switch people, and it doesn't make us happy all the time.
So they were just notified, hey, you're moving to this location.
So correct, each year we get our placements. And 5 of them, which is why they're on there, are being transferred, 3 classroom aides are being transferred to a one-on-one, which is a separate classification. If you look on the salary schedule, there's a classification for one-on-one, there's a classification for classroom para. And if I can get a hold of the secretary files, we can show you where there's also a board-approved job description for one-on-one separate from the classroom.
And if I could stop you, they are exactly the same. They're identical, we checked it.
They are identical, but as we said, the position that was taken by the district when the layoffs happened was that one-on-ones cannot be let go or laid off because they are the ones that are hired for a specific student.
I see, so they're going from a one-on-one to,
A classroom, and then a classroom para is going to a one-on-one.
And I will tell you that Cheryl, she sat down with, her and, I don't know exactly who, but she said there were 4 or 5 of them. They sat down and they looked at each and every person and put them where they felt that would be most successful for that person, most successful for the students. Some people she felt maybe weren't successful, and I'm not the specifics, not successful where they currently were. So that really was her determination when they did away with the behavior. And there still are going to be behavior students in our SBC classes. She had 6 additional paraeducators that she put in, and so her thought was, well, I could just put this person here, but that's not really where they're going to fit. So let me just, maybe I'm gonna move this person, she really took some time and put some thought into exactly where she moved everybody to.
And I appreciate that. The point is we were told that this is the district stand. And now the district is not staying with that stand. It appears that the district is trying to move things when they want to and stop things when they don't.
I sort of think we have to based on some of our, whatever we have to do. I mean, nobody got laid off, right? Is that a good thing?
No, and there absolutely is no disrespect meant in any way to anybody. It really is just what is going to work for the employees, what is going to work for the students. That is, really what Cheryl had, really on her mind when she moved folks. It had nothing to do with any kind of disrespect intended at all.
And I think that's why Cheryl needs to be here, because she's a busy woman. I know I did not see her. Does that mean she wasn't there? No, but I did not see her once during the school year. How do we know that she saw these people and she knows who they are?
I have a question. So the people that are being transferred, move around, have they come to you and said, hey, I don't want to be moved? Or this is something that you noticed and you're like, hey, you fit this in this, but also people have come to you and said, what's happening?
Did Cheryl sit down and talk to these ladies and get their opinion or anything like that?
I don't know that she did. She sat down with her team, and like I said, I don't know exactly who was on her team.
Because I think it's also when we transfer somebody, we're not transferring out of any type of punishment or anything.
Absolutely.
It's a need. It's nice to just sit down and talk to them and say, hey, look, we really need you in this position this year. This is what we think we're taking you. And that might have happened. So can we postpone it? And let's ask her a few questions and see if she spoke to the parent educators and got their view on it. Because I agree, we need to put them where they're best for the district and what they're happy at.
And I agree.
It is my understanding, and I'm not speaking on behalf of Cheryl, but she did explain this to me with Keith present, that I believe possibly maybe one of the one-on-ones, there is no longer a student for that one-on-one.
And then we have to do something.
So it was either laying off that one-on-one or moving her or them so that they would maintain employment.
Okay, the issue with that is there's 3 one-on-one positions, 2 classroom para positions. So that's where the argument comes. You had 3 one-on-ones, so there's 3 classroom paras, all 3 are being transferred to a one-on-one, when only 1 should have been affected. The other 2 classrooms should have stayed, and then she still had 3 people to play with to move around. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah. But also, the personalities of the one-on-one child.
And then, you gotta take all that into consideration. And I think she probably did, but let's just wait until we can get a little.
Let's just go to August 3rd.
Yes, please.
Now, how many And which one?
And I can tell you, if it helps any, I do know that there is one that is just happy to have the job.
No, look, and this is, we're gonna pull this to August 3rd, but I suggest that the peer educators talk to the administration and say, yeah, I think this is a good idea, tell me why you transferred. So there's some communication, instead of just saying you're transferred. I think she has open door, have them knock on the door today.
So I
Just
just
the issue is that we got the thing for today, and with it being summer, just trying to get in, as Barbara said, she met with Keith today. So that's all we're asking, is just time to talk within the district before you guys vote on it.
And they may be perfectly happy with it.
So, President Gutierrez, I would suggest you pull all of the transfers then to August 3rd and proceed with the 2 hires.
That's okay.
Huh? She's coming from. Oh, yeah, so you can include Elizabeth Hernandez as well, the top 3. She's going from CSO to Kern. And pull everything else.
Thank you.
And Robin, could you, I wish we could rhyme these a little bit, you know? So I could see everybody. Did you ask Sherry, or
She'll be here August 3rd.
if she could just give a little quick phone call after the, and say, hey, look, this one, just a little communication. This is why we're doing it, we feel your best, whatever. Yeah, she might have did that already.
I think it's important that the board hears the rationale and also where the why behind it from her. Because I won't speak on her behalf, I'm not 100% sure the why behind it. I heard her talking to Keith earlier today, but if there's this big of a question about it, let's have her.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, back to you.
Hi, currently many teachers, including myself, are finishing up session 2 of summer school. Big thanks to all for helping our students during the summer break. I taught 4th grade summer school previously from 2002 to 2009. Back then, only lunch was provided. Now at summer school, students get breakfast, lunch, and transportation to and from school if needed. And all school supplies are given to each student attending. Thanks to the district and all departments for that. And thanks for giving a math and reading curriculum to all summer school teachers. Also, our team would like to thank the district and HR for filling the many vacant teaching positions. I know this has been tough. Also, with negotiations, RTA is hopeful that we will be able to agree on a mutual date so we can continue the negotiations process. RTA also looks forward to hearing the district's counter proposals and the proposals at the next meeting. Lastly, I look forward to the start of this upcoming school year. RTA would like to continue to take an active approach and participation in picking new curriculums and programs to ensure that all students are successful. Thanks.
CDO, Mr. Irving.
Hey everyone. First, I don't remember if I did this at the last board meeting or not, but I want to say congratulations to Martha Hernandez and Timothy Santos for passing their bus carrying test and all that fun stuff. Because we're building capacity from within, so it's very exciting to me. On the food service front, we've begun the transition to Chartwells from Sodexo. Rosie's been working with Luis and Raphael, making sure that we have updated marketing, and they are planning out training with the supervisors and food service workers on updated recipes, different processes, all of that fun stuff. So things at this point seem to be going very smooth with that. The painting at the high school is speeding along. They've done quite a bit of work in the last month, 6 weeks or so. Thunderstorms and everything else in the way. They should be down to the 800s by about now. If you go by, you can start to see. I believe they did the monument in front of the high school office over the weekend. Suresh, am I wrong?
Yeah. No, that's still
Not yet?
hasn't been finished.
All right, well then, they're working their way around to it then apparently. But anyway, they're still, they've done a lot of progress in the last several weeks. And then cafeteria at the middle school has been given a new paint job in the kitchen in the cafeteria area, so that's still some touch-up stuff to be done, but from what I understand, looks fantastic. And then I just want to say thank you to everybody that's done summer school, whether it's staff, substitutes, just everybody. I don't want to try and name people or departments because I'm going to forget something and then offend somebody, and I don't want to do that. But I just want to say thank you to everybody that's, worked one or both sessions this year to, help get things back to closer to whatever normal is. And that is it for me.
This is Superintendent Instruction and Curriculum, Ms. Lacy.
Good evening, everyone. I'd just like to say our office is busy. We have so many parents and students coming in to enroll. Sometimes it's hard to walk in the door. Getting bus passes all ready to go. A lot of kiddos enrolling, which is good to see. Also, Noemi and April are just out doing themselves. They've already started conducting initial LPAC assessments. So those kiddos that are enrolling that need to be to receive that initial LPAC assessment are already getting assessed even before school starts. That's pretty impressive. I believe Superintendent Gaines provided each of the board members with a copy of my pretty lengthy PD schedule. We have a lot. That's been a lot of what I've been working on in the last couple of days since I've been back from vacation. We have a lot of amazing trainings, both for classified and certificated staff. Leanne has put together the Capturing Kids' Hearts that all of our certificated and classified staff members could attend. We also have some CSO training that Paul Irving has put together. It's a 3-day training. We want them, all of our CSOs to attend that training. And then we also have a paraeducator and ACES staff training for our classified. And then for our teachers, we have some CHAMPS training coming, which is Houston PBI has a classroom management system that we're going to start implementing. It goes really well with Capturing Kids' Hearts. And our trainer is going to kind of talk to our teachers about how you can incorporate the two together, which is exciting. We have Math at Works training for our K-5 teachers and a full day of math training on August 8th for our 6th through 12th grade teachers as well. We have Dr. Fisher coming that is for our teachers, and he's going to be doing a lot of great training on instruction and that type of thing. And then we have Kate Kinsella coming to do some email training for all of our teachers as well. So I'm very excited about all the opportunities that we're providing for professional development this school before we start. Also, I would like to thank all of our summer school staff, all classified, certificated, for all the efforts that they've done to help provide our students. It ends on Friday, is the last day of summer school. I'm going to be sending out a survey. Mr. Warfield mentioned that the district provided a different curriculum this year. I'm going to send out a survey to see if all the teachers that did teach that summer school curriculum, what their thoughts were on it, and whether they would like to use that again next year, or if we would like to look at something else, if they felt that did not meet the needs of our students, so that we can look forward to next summer school and making sure we have the best instruction for our students as possible.
Thank you. Associate Superintendent of Human Resources, Ms. Artis.
All right, so we are of course busy hiring people. We have for some of our open staff positions, we held some interviews last week, filling some paraeducator and CSO positions. And then tomorrow we're going to have some more interviews. We have a few teacher positions and ACES instructors. So those will take place tomorrow afternoon. And then on the consent items, we do have a Capturing Kids' Hearts. And that is for this coming school year. Originally, we were going to be doing a program called Process Champions, but we kind of pulled back on that because we do have so many new folks. So this is sort of a just a renewal, changed a little bit in that proposal to where we're going to do another, just capturing kids' hearts #1. And I was looking to do that, maybe the first, like the 19th and 20th of December. Those are the first 2 days of vacation. See if we can, get some of our brand new, because we do have a lot of new staff. And say, okay, well, that's probably not gonna work. Let's try this and see how many folks we can include. And then also been working on our recruitment. So we have, just kind of trying to figure out, what works and what is available to us. So currently we have our billboards that are at southbound on Avenue L. So you see that as you're going into Palmdale. And then we also have one at Steve Owens Park. So there's our Steve Owens Park. So when just trying to stick with a budget and, just try some different things, we are going to take the one from the Avenue L going southbound, and so they do have available, it's also available, what's available through,
I saw it the other day, I was like, oh my God, who am I gonna text and call when I saw it this time? Who can I tell?
Yeah, so they actually, when I had talked with them previously, they didn't have any stationary billboards available, but they now at the end, and it's a time frame, and the time frame is the same for everybody. So the contract for the ones that we have currently is August 31st. So we decided that we'll keep the one at Steve Owens Park, and because that's a pretty good location, and then we're going to be able to get a stationary billboard at coming northbound as you come into Palmdale. So this is what it'll look like, but it'll be stationary, and then I'll let you show it where that's going to be, and it's as you're coming up over that hill into Palmdale.
That was the first slide.
Was it the first
Oh,
one?
okay, I just wasn't sure if everybody saw it.
Yeah. There was
So,
no revenue?
yeah. Yeah, so this is as you're coming into Palmdale, so that's where that'll be. And then the one at Steve Owens Park, and we'll just really trying to see what is going to be most effective for us. It seems like they come in spurts where we were not really having a lot of people apply for ACES, and then all of a sudden, again, there were several. When I went back into my office about 6:30 today, there was somebody in my email that said, hey, this person applied. So I called them right away and said, hey, we're Houston, are you going to come on down? So I'm probably back and stalking, but I do what I can. So that's where that'll be, and so those are both added to the consent items.
I have a question, so, is this money for, I see what the cost is and everything, so is this, I know we're doing it again, but the budget that it's coming from, is this the money that we have to use up, or the one-time money? One-time.
So, and the stationary billboard is more expensive, so it's $7,500 plus an initial $1,200 just to create the vinyl.
For how many months? 3 months?
I believe it is through, I think it's longer than that.
How much was the digital billboard?
They are.
Oh, it looks like it's to February of 2023.
Okay, yes, I was thinking February, but I wasn't 100%, so it is quite a while. Mary asked how much.
You mentioned it once before, I just can't remember.
I want to say 5,000. So it's 5,000 for the
So
digital.
it's cheaper for the digital? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like, it's always gonna be there.
Yeah.
Digital goes
So-
through there, 100 of them.
So actually, there's 8 spots on the digital billboard, and it goes through 30
Right.
seconds.
I've never gotten much enough to see
You have
it.
to go like really slow, this
Yeah.
pops up.
I tried to, write down the information really fast while you're driving. Well, good, it seems like it's working out, so.
Yeah. Alright, thank you. Superintendent Kate.
Good evening. I want to welcome everyone who is joining us from their home, and also those of you who are here in our audience this evening. I'd like to begin by congratulating our newest AP at Rosamond Elementary, Miss Casey there. So welcome, Casey, and so happy to have you on board. No doubt in my mind you're going to do a great job. I appreciate your desire to be able to go to the other side. Awesome. It's so much fun. You'll love it. I also want to remind our parents that we are registering new students every single day in our Ed Services office. So please, our enrollment numbers seem to be going up steadily every single day. So please, if you haven't enrolled your child, please get over to the Ed Services office and get that taken care of in the next few days. I'm very excited, as Ms. Lacey mentioned, about our professional development coming up on August 8th and August 9th. For the past several years, the district has had one day to cram everything in. It's now a real treat. Thank you to our teachers for agreeing to add that August 8th day to their calendar. And I think this year they're going to really enjoy what we have lined up for them. And so I look forward to those 2 days, just going around and seeing all the different sessions for both our teachers and classified, and also our management team. I too want to thank everyone who has made summer school, both sessions, a huge success again this year. Couldn't have done it without our entire staff. Can't do it without our teachers, can't do it without our classified, can't do it without our administrators and parents. Thank you for seeing the need in bringing your children. And also, I want to thank transportation. As you can see, board in your packet, you had a transportation safety plan from Ms. Desiree, our supervisor of transportation, and if you had a chance to look at that plan, I can tell you that she did an outstanding job on that plan. So I want to thank the entire transportation department for getting our kids to and from every day safely, and that's such a relief. Also, I want to say that during June 26th to June 29th, we had 52 teachers, administrators at Avid in San Diego. One night we were sitting having dinner, and there were 21 of us at the table. So that is a fun environment, no matter, and it's great to hear them talking about the training they had that day and how they're going to bring it back to their sites. And I want to thank all the teachers and admin for seeing the importance of learning Avid strategies and bringing that back to their sites. And I also want to thank Ms. Lacey, because on 2 of those days we had afternoon sessions, and she did a phenomenal job of just getting us organized and really getting everyone to focus on what they could do better at their individual sites and guiding that, facilitating that work. So Leslie, thank you very much for that. I was basically the checker to see who all was showing up and making sure everybody signed in, and that the posters were hanging on the walls correctly. So I didn't have a really hard job, but I do appreciate everybody who made that trip and are excited about Avid this coming school year. That's pretty much it. If you haven't had a chance to check out Rosamond High, even though it's not 100% done, I suggest you drop over there. It is looking so good. I was over there for a couple hours yesterday, just walking around with Mr. Rajnath and with Robin, Ms. Calceda, and it was a real joy just to see it looks like a whole new campus, actually. It's really looking good. So on that note, I will stop.
Jim?
I don't have much to say. I'm happy. I'm looking forward to this next school year. Happy to see the new principals and assistant principals at the schools. I was a little worried about how we moved them at first, but I think it's going to work out. And I'm looking forward to having a good year. And I'm one that really pushes that we all get along. We work together as a team, because without each other, we're nothing. So we have to get along, and it worries me when we say we don't, and, because I really want us to work together for the best of all of us. And I believe we do. I believe we do.
I agree with everything he said. I agree, of course, but I am also looking forward to the new school district season. My little one is going to be in kindergarten, so I will be at West Park a lot this year. I'll stop by Tropico too, don't worry. I agree entirely. Like, I would love for us to work together and to communicate better and, be a little more transparent. So I think we are trying to do that. So we just got to keep moving forward. And I'm glad you guys know. Thank you.
Again, we'll thank everybody for coming and all those who are tuning in. I just wanted to mention one thing, because one of the things I want to do this year, this is going to involve the clubs, your athletics, all your programs that you have extra for the kids. It's under the Embracing the Whole Child. Okay, we know we have all kinds of clubs. We're putting a little emphasis on athletics. Band, I'm not worried about, because I think we got one of the best band directors down in Tropico in the state, in my opinion. But we've got clubs, we've got things that are going on. And as a board member, and I think a board, we'd like to have not the person who's guiding it from the teacher side, but let's get the leaders of these young clubs come in so they can get a little face time with the board and let us know what their programs are. I'll give you an example. We learned outside the school board, Mrs. Gaines and I did, about some needs for the cadet corps. Well, I'd like to have, like, their commanders and so forth come in and give us a 5-10 minute presentation. Now, we can't have everybody come in at the same time, but we can get it scheduled, and I think the principals, especially Tropico and your guys, that they can, work with Alma to schedule and have somebody come in. It gives us more knowledge that we just don't have, and then all of a sudden we hear something and it goes, yeah, that's a good idea, why not? And what started me thinking of this is when a young lady who came in fourth grader from West Park gave us a presentation. And yeah, we brought her back, and I asked her, I asked her to come back and give us a report. She announced, well, we got a drama club. I got 52 students that are in the drama club. Well, fantastic. But we didn't know that until she came in and gave us that info. So this is one of the things I want to emphasize this year. So please, I won't expect it in September, but maybe starting in October, let's get a couple. One from Tropico, one from, get them out. And it includes athletics, includes cheerleaders, whatever. So we know who they are, and but it's a leadership thing. I want them to come in and show that they could talk to us. And I know some of them would be nervous, but I want them to start developing their leadership skills. This is one way of doing it. That's all I have. I'm on my soapbox.
Just want to thank everybody for coming. Thank you for tuning in if you're on the computer. And I want to thank all the teachers and all our staff that have worked over the summer, beautifying and teaching the kids. Because summer school this year, it seems like almost every kid needed it. We were so behind after that layoff that we had those four kids. I mean, they really needed it, and thank you for all the teachers. Thank you for all the extra effort on the classified staff. They were year round. They do everything all the time. So thank them. And with that, we have Sam that would like to do a presentation for this. Thank you, report.
Good evening, how are you? I'm Sam Lansgard from Carl Harbor, and I had some people prepared with know. Funny enough. So, we did a demo on they call it a mean green machine. It's just basically a zero turn riding mower, and it's gonna be all battery operated. And why I'm here to talk to you guys about that, we did a demo, kind of talked to Robert a little bit about it, but there's funding through the Carl Moyer project, just like the buses, and they added those mowers to it. I mean, it is something that if you guys are needing, and I think there's a need for them from what I've seen that you guys have here, you can actually turn in old diesel mowers that you guys have that they barely run, and they'll actually give you a refund, and they're looking for people right now through the East Air District at Jeremiah, and they'll get you 80% off that mower. So in other words, a mower that's costing, $36,000 comes in and they pay 80% of that. They refund it, they take your diesel off the line for the air emissions and for clean energy. And it's actually a good swap. The money's there for the state. It's grant money, and you're getting a new mower. You're not paying for all the components that a gas engine has, so it's going to save you guys in repairs. There's no belts on these machines. Something I can go really in detail with, but you'd have to see it. But electricity is a lot less. So if you start adding the gas prices we have today, and all their air filters and all that extra components, the batteries on this is a Tesla and will last 8,000 hours. Which basically you're going to get 4 years out of these mowers before it's going to start losing its capacity. He's waiting for people to line up and we can get the funding. But that bill, that's AB 1346, that bill is in model year 2024. And mowers aren't on that list. CARB doesn't have the ability to touch any horsepower over a certain range. But I'm just saying, because it's a great quality mower that's out there that you can get it at such a low discount. That's something you can pull in. On the last 2 pages especially, there's a lot to read through there, but the last 2 pages kind of showing a lot of you guys' hand equipment that's going to be gone. I know Raleigh Davis came in and looked for pressure washers the other day. That's something that's going to be gone in model year 2024. A lot of all your hand equipment. And it's something that you might start thinking about as a staff and moving in that direction. Getting your electrical hooked up that way. There's lots of different units. I'm here representing Steel, Echo, Ego, Husqvarna. We service it all. We do it all. So on all your outdoor power equipment, we can help with those needs. And then as Carl Harbor just as a whole, it's something that I did meet with Robert and Raleigh. We want to be able to do more for you guys, whether it's better discounts, allowing us to bid on more projects, more things. You can come in with great pricing. We can beat the April Nose. We can beat that. We can save your guys from going down there. We can do free deliveries right here. We're right down the street. We can get all this product in pretty quickly. So if it's something that we can help you guys with, we want to, and we want to make it affordable to you. We know you're on a budget, but on a lot of this stuff, if it's run through us, you talk to the right people, we can definitely get you guys the pricing you need. I'm sure you have accounts everywhere where they're giving you bid assists and this and that. And I'd like to, be able to explore those options for you guys and can help you. So, I do have cards if you guys want them. I'll give these out. Right here.
Sam, so in 2024, the stuff you have on the back page,
Yes,
that's gonna be the stuff that's gonna be banded in 2024?
yes, in model year 2024. As far as the bill reads right now, and that was signed in by Newsom, so that, if that goes in effect, which it probably will, those will be gone.
There's some of the stuff we probably don't use, but we do use weed whackers and blowers.
Weed whackers and blowers, those are all gonna be gone. They have battery replacements for them. The technology's there. It's come a long way, from where it was. I wasn't proud of battery 4 years ago. It was not very good at all. But where it's been coming and growing in hand equipment, it's not like cars. I still am not sold into cars yet. They're still trying to dial that in. But with hand equipment, when you're looking at it, you're gonna get all your run times out of them, and it's really impressive. And you guys aren't the first people I've done this with. Desert Haven Enterprises, it's a full landscape company out of Lancaster, if anybody knows them. But I changed the whole fleet over. And I've worked with Huron. They're the ones that bought 2 of those rivals. They did 2 of them, they sent them out there. If you go to Pace right now, Edwards, we got 4 of our mowers out there right now. I mean, people are already adapting and moving. School districts from all around, work with Lancaster School District, they bought one. They're working with their 1,000 car equipment. And you guys are right here in Rosamond, we're in Kern County, you know, restrictions are a little different, but I'm here, I'm getting the pricing I need for everybody else. And I wanna help all of you guys out the same way. I'm able to do it. So I would love to be able to come in here, give you the service you need, the quality service that you guys need. And I'll help you. I'll deliver for free, I'll do whatever you need. And that's anything from a screwdriver to, you know, rental equipment. I already got you guys set in at a 10% discount on all your rental equipment, and your delivery set lower. I went over that with Robert as well and Raleigh. But any of that, I want to help you with, you know. You guys need paint, you guys need plumbing, you know, let's make it happen. You know, big projects, we'll get our bids down. I do appreciate, you know, I just saw the local PO coming through from you guys for us, you know, for a large quantity amount of money. We appreciate that. We just want to do more for you if you guys need.
Sam, is the blowers and the small equipment, can we get the grant on that too?
You cannot get through Carl Moyer. They are working on more funding that's supposed to be coming down through the state of California. In that aspect, the AV Air District is on the Avenue A line. That's the air district that does. But as far as these Kern, they're only doing riding mowers through Carl Moyer. But Jeremiah did tell me that they are trying to work more funding coming through. Because I went to a meeting with Zach Scribner up in Tehachapi and talked to him about it. He said, hey, look, we really need to help people out with all their small hand equipment, because that's a big cost as well. But you got a couple of years, so if your equipment starts going out, instead of replacing it with gas, then you want to start thinking about getting your battery stuff set up and thinking for the future. Or you can buy a bunch of gas and try to sit on the ground. You know, there's 2 different ways to look at it, but either way, they're not going to allow manufacturers to make any more than they are. California Air Resource Board, they're restricting manufacturers from even ramping up production for the next 2 years.
Yeah, the last thing I read from the Resources Board, by 2025, all gas-powered garden equipment will be banned.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
How many mowers do we have, gas mowers do we have?
3?
But yeah, I've seen 4 or 5 back there, but I think some of them are old and broke down that, you know, that they could get running just a little bit. It just has to barely, it just gotta skip. If it blows white smoke out and it's blown up, they don't care. As long as they're showing that, hey, it's still blowing out that diesel smoke, they'll take it off and they'll get 80%. Several, they did 2 at the same time. As far as I know, while the money's there, it's good. Jeremiah said, hey, I want to build this. He said, find new people, because.
So where do I get the paperwork?
I can send an email to you, but I sent the application to Robert, he has it, so he could forward it to you. It has the application with all the information that you need to send to Jeremiah. And then once that's filled out, and, you know, I did as much as I could, but if he sends it to me, finish filling it out, you could probably do it and send it up. They put it through to the board, and usually takes a couple months, but they'll get it taken care of.
And one more question while I have you here, since you mentioned it.
Yes.
Do you have those pressure washers?
No, not in stock. So what you guys are wanting is a commercial grade 4,000 PSI pressure washer. So it's Mighty M, it's made to spec. They make it whether you want belt drive, whatever you want. There's about 8 different ways you can make that pressure washer. So they don't stock it, just leave it in a warehouse, especially 5 that you're looking for. And you guys want it now. That's a hard item to get that quick. The lead times on that are 6 weeks out, 6 to 8 weeks out. And that's from Mighty M. There's also a Steel brand one that I have a better discount. Those are the same thing, they're 12 weeks out.
Is that the electric one we're talking about?
No, those are gas powered.
How about the electrics? Do you have them in stock?
I have, not in that,
Not in that
not
range?
under 4,000 PSI. And this is the problem we're seeing, and with a lot of this, is it plan ahead, because on some of this gas that you're not gonna be able to have a replacement that's gonna push up that PSI. You get the highest they have right now is like 2,000. And it's gonna be hard to replace some of this. So you're gonna need some gas items. You might wanna add a little more in your budget in the next couple of years. Even if it's gonna last you longer, you get those items you need. You know, the Honda motors and generators are gone. They banned them in California. It's non-existent, and it's getting harder and harder for these companies to even make an engine that's out compliant. So, if I know on the pressure washers, availability is tough, and you hear that all day long. We hear COVID, and that's not an excuse. We have some pressure washers that we get in. They're just not the PSI you guys are wanting. It's commercial grade. It's good stuff, but it's something you got to be patient for. It's built to spec, and that would be like the same any time of year in any situation. They always take a while for us to get.
Did we order?
No. Not yet. No.
We're waiting to order them.
Yes.
Actually, I thought they were ordered. That's okay. You're about.
Oh.
And I learned something.
No.
You didn't hear that, Sam?
No, I didn't. No.
One more thing, Sam, the riding mowers. We're gonna mow our football field and our baseball field. We have one of these electric mowers. Are they gonna do that? Are they gonna last that long?
Yes. Yeah. So the run times are 8 hours. It's kind of crazy because I took it to Palmdale School District and let them ride it out, and they got a bunch of mowers, big 12-foot ones, all sorts of stuff. They took them out all day. I left it for a week. I'll leave it here for a week if you guys want.
Yes.
They're down there. They're fast, they're good. It ran, those guys ran it as hard as they could all day and couldn't get it back to the garage at less than 50% capacity of the battery. Charged it up overnight, away they went again the next day. It's really incredible. It takes $6 to fill that thing from 0 all the way up. And that's, electricity sucking it, and that's it. You're not dealing with all sorts of other things that could go wrong. Your return on investment it's going to be very beneficial with these. Very impressive. I was very impressed with these when I became a dealer. They're not like some of the off-brand things. They're very expensive, but while the money's there, you're going to be paying, $8,000 like you would for a new mower, except this machine's $36,000. So you're saving a lot of money, and it's something that you want to take advantage of lots there. Because in 2024, I don't know if California is going to say, oh, we're still giving the funding. You have to change now. So they're trying to just help people switch over now, and I deal with the air districts on a regular basis. So I can help you with what you need. Walking you around through it, it's everything went really well. So
is there a lot of maintenance on that machine? What's my daily maintenance? I don't know anything about it.
I mean, the only thing is the blades. That's it. So you would have to sharpen the blades, replace the blades.
The same as the gas motor.
Yeah. No belts.
Now the gas motor,
No air filter. No. Yeah. Say air, compressed air and hose.
I know a little bit about the gas motors. So I got changed my oil. I've got to lube them once a week. Is there lubing on that?
No, there's no grease points.
There's no grease points?
No, it's just electric motors. All electric motors.
And there's no grease points? The little things lift up, they don't have to be greased or nothing like that?
No.
Okay. Just,
I have to show you, but I mean, I figured it out a lot, but I can show you what it is.
He's gonna leave it with us for a week.
Yeah.
can we drive it? We're gonna be mowing the football field.
Yeah, everybody's gonna be mowing the football field, get it down.
Yes. Are there any questions? You're welcome.
Thank you.
Any other questions, anybody? Thank you guys for everything. I do appreciate, the business so far. I want to do better for you though. If I'm not doing my job, if you guys don't tell me, I don't know. So I do want to know if there's something better I can do. It's like, hey, look, I can get this paint, I can drive to Depot and it's worth it for the labor and this and that. Well, maybe I can help you. Okay, I want to know, but what I don't know, I can't fix and I can't help. And that's just where I'm at. I'd love to.
Careful what you wish for.
That's right. I'll be busy. I'll be busy. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Thanks, guys.
Let's go. Okay, consent items A through U. Anybody have any questions?
I don't.
Anybody else? Move to approve.
I talked to Robert a little bit about it, the leasing, which I bring it up every time we do this. Now, when we get to Tropico School, we might need to maybe give a little heads up on some of this leasing stuff, if we can, any way of getting some of it back. Because my understanding that these old buildings that we've been leasing for years, that the lease goes up and a return agreement gets higher and higher, is we've got to make them almost like what we got them. So they're making these contracts to where we're going to end up just keep doing it forever till they fall apart because we can't afford to put them back together like they were when they rented us. So as we get closer to the time that it looks like we're going to not need them, we need to really start working on these leases and say, look, we can't give you $9,000 plus restore the building to give it back to you. So that's just I know we need them for another 2 years. We're short. We need them. So I'm okay with it. We need to really start looking at these.
And the contract is for another 2 years.
It's for another 2
We
years.
shouldn't need them after that.
Not saying that, because we've been leasing them for 20 years.
Some of those buildings are around like that.
Yeah, I've put in them, you know what I mean?
So I just want to really, we may have to go down there and twist these guys' arms or something until they need to take their buildings back because we had them for 20 years. We can't make them look like them.
Does the lease ever run out?
Does the lease, like,
In other words, say I lease one of the buildings for 10 years. At the end of the 10 years, is the lease going to stay the same even though the building is deteriorating over that amount of time? Or, I don't know, when I lease equipment, it's usually a 5-year lease. And at the end of the 5 year, I own it for a buck.
yeah, I don't believe any of our lease agreements are lease to purchase. I think at this point.
No, I know, but I remember that with Rosamond Elementary, when we finally finished up the school and got rid of them, called the company to come and take them. They didn't want to take them.
Yeah, I know.
We had to pay somebody to just remove them.
Yeah.
We just need to work on the lease agreement next time to where it's better for us if we don't want them, that we can give them back. Or, look, we paid $900 million for these in the last 20 years. Can we have them? Something like that. That's all I'm saying.
Current market rate is $35. We'd like to not give you $10,000.
Yeah, something like that. Because right now, they sort of got us. We're going to pay the $15,000 for the year, or we're going to give them $16,000 to give it back to them, plus fix them up. So they've got it made. We've got to start twisting them a little bit. And like Mario said, I've rented stuff before or leased it, and after the 5 years, whatever dollar you buy it. I mean, we've spent a lot of money on these buildings, so they should be able to work with us.
We don't want to look at dollar signs in somebody's eyes.
Yeah,
We're ready
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Because right now they think they got us, and we're going to rent them or lease them for another 30 years because we can't afford to give them back.
I used to work on contracts, I know.
I know the
I used to work on art.
So that's something another thing for you, Robert. Have fun.
I'm on some good sit.
Okay. Motion by Vincelette, seconded by
Second.
Bender, all in favor?
Aye.
Adopt Southern Kern Unified School District Transportation Safety Plan. Mr. Irving.
Alrighty, so in your packets is a safety plan for transportation that was put together by Transportation Supervisor Desiree Castro with some input from me and Barbara, things to punch up. Overall, it's, explanation of why transportation does what it does to kind of hopefully mitigate some of the phone calls of, my child can cross some streets, but not all streets. Why, what kind of behaviors are acceptable, what kind of items are acceptable, what to do with the bus pass, what not to do. Just kind of go over the do's and don'ts and just procedures as we, offer home to school, and over the next couple of years we'll have to expand that further than we currently do. So it's and then it gives the district something to when parents have questions or disagreement with something of like, well, here's a document that you signed saying you acknowledge that you were given this. So hopefully it helps keep things running smoothly.
It looks good. It kind of spells out, hey, don't bring balloons on the bus. That's like no balloons and no reptiles and all the things.
Makes Brittany's life easier a little bit.
Can't bring your snake.
Is reptiles on the bus?
That's not emotional.
So good. It might be.
We've had bats and other, kids will put them in their backpacks without their parents knowing.
Oh, they put a lot of things in backpacks that parents don't know.
Right, but it says like, don't bring this on the bus, and I think it's true with the spelled out, we're gonna give the parents a sign, and if they don't oblige, they're liable for something.
Robert, there's one thing I didn't see on here, we had a problem last year with it, is a student forgot their bus pass. It's gonna happen the same times.
Yeah.
Here, we refused them, and we got some phone calls last year. I didn't see it, here it says that they cannot, they're denied transportation. I mean, somebody comes and they may be denied. They drop off their child, 6-year-old little girl at the bus stop, and they take off to work, and they never get on the bus because they got denied. We did have something like that happen last year. Is a bus
Can I
driver?
put input on that? In the mornings, we don't refuse transportation.
Okay.
Because they are all going to the school.
Okay.
Because that happened a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
In the morning, we don't. In the afternoon, if they come to the bus without a bus pass, then we refuse transportation to them. And the reason being is because kids will get on the bus to go to their friend's house without their parents' knowledge, or they want to go to somebody's house that they're not supposed to. So as long as they have their bus pass to show where they go. Now, if there's like a family that is having a situation, they can call transportation and say, hey, can my kid ride this bus? And then the Desiree will give us the information and we'll let that kid ride. But it's all basically for safety reasons. But in the morning, absolutely, we transport them.
Okay, I like that,
Yeah.
I agree. They're at the school, if they don't get on the bus, they can go in and make a phone call. But if their
Yes.
parent left them at the bus stop at 7 o'clock in the morning and.
Because they do. Way out in west.
Oh, yeah, I know.
6 o'clock in the morning
They'll
we
drop
start.
them off there and they head off and do what they have to do, and thinking that their child's gone on the bus, and if we refuse them, here they are, a little girl or a little boy sitting out there with nobody around. So I want to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
because
the
it
only
did
ones
happen.
that get refused is if they have like a bus ticket or they're on a 3-day block, if they're middle school and above. But that's it. In the morning, they never get away with it. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
The thing actually says,
Supposed to be aware of that.
Right, but they're all.
under bus passes, it says may be denied.
Maybe.
So I would think the bus driver's got a little bit of discretion. Is that
Yeah.
the way I read that? Yeah.
I mean, if I have the same kid for all year long and he
You know.
gets it one day,
Yeah.
I tell him to bring me some chocolate and then we try. I know.
I want to sign all the
There you go.
But I mean, if we have substitute drivers that don't know these kids.
Yeah.
They're not gonna know where that child goes, especially like kinder, first. I've even had a middle school that had no clue where he went. He went to 20th and he told me he lived off of Baptist somewhere in the desert around trees. So he went on a long ride with me, so that, you don't know unless they have that bus pass of where they go, especially for the subs, that's mainly where,
That's great.
sorry, I had to put my input in there.
No, it's right.
That's good.
Well, they did the bus pass free at first, and then the replacement, usually
I'll second
she works until then. They buy it all day or whatever.
Sunny?
Sunny? And Vincelette, second. All in favor? Approve HPLE amendment number 1, project construction management service consultant. Mr. Owens, or contract, sorry.
Right, so this is an amendment to our current contract with HPLE, who is our project management company for the RES kindergarten project. They've been working, and the intent is for the Tropico Middle School, Rosamond High School cafeteria, and the high school painting, and they've helped us with the process thus far. This is just doing in their original contract that was solely focused on Rosamond Elementary. Exhibit E dries out the fee. There's a slight typo on the cover page from the business office that says $31 million on there. That is not correct. That $31 million is more than all of those projects combined. So it'd be $3 million with all three of the 3 additional projects on top of the elementary that's already done. So I just want to clarify that as you look at the cover sheet, that there's an extra number on there. It's in front of the comma instead of behind it. And then their role with project management is, they help put together RFPs and the bids and everything else for the district to make sure that we're following proper requirements for everything, and that we're not, skipping on, public works projects and everything like that. And then facilitate and assist with, procurement and speed bumps that come along with the length of the project.
So there hasn't been any speed bumps.
Other than all the utilities at RES, but that's fine.
Yeah. I'll make a motion for it. Go ahead.
I will all motion.
I was second.
Motion by Vincelette, seconded by Hepburn. All in favor?
Aye.
4 ayes. I've got to say that Jaime has been indispensable with all of the work that he has done, helping us with started out just doing a project, and next thing you know, we've got into doing 4 different projects at one time.
Yeah, they're big projects.
Is that?
They're big projects.
They're big projects.
Hard work.
Okay, approve administration assignments. Has anybody got any questions?
No. Move that we approve.
And, Mr. President, on August 3rd, you will be asked to approve a new assistant principal of athletics at Rosamond High. Just because it'll be a surprise to the community who that person's going to be, but that'll be on the agenda for August 3rd.
Okay. Motion by Vincelette, seconded. By Bender?
Yep.
All in favor? All in favor?
Offender? Wait, did I change my mind? I don't know.
Accept quarterly report, April, May, and June on Williams uniform complaint under Education Code 35-186, Ms. Lacy.
There have been no uniform complaints filed, so I suggested something.
So, let me just ask a dumb question. That's all I can think of is a dumb one. Are we, now none's being, submitted, are we looking and staying on top of all that stuff? So we can recognize when we do have a complaint, we can fix it before.
Typically, we have made sure that we have more material than are necessary, so there's a surplus in case you have enrolling students or different things that come up. So there, when we make the orders and things, we usually typically order a little bit more than we need, just to ensure that we don't have any issues.
And that's just, is that one complaint or is there several in that they can complain about?
Well, really, over Williams kind of encompasses a bunch of different things.
Okay.
Instructional materials, facilities, so.
So if I don't like the restroom, I can make a complaint? Is that what that covers? I'm just trying to understand that a little bit more.
Yes. If there isn't adequate enough bathrooms for the capacity of the school, that can be a complaint. If you don't have enough school books.
So that's where all that.
Yes, that's the word. And I think also if you don't have teachers for the amount of students, that can also be a complaint. But
Not only do we not have enough teachers,
no.
I'll complain.
That's out of our realm.
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Motion by Hepburn, seconded by Vincelette. All in favor?
Aye.
4 ayes. Approve the following list of personnel items. I table a suggestion that we table all the transfers other than one Hernandez. And approve the two hires. Yes. And Hernandez's transfer, and then all the others will stay as they are.
I will move. Oh, we still got the other questions, but I'll move to,
Accept the changes.
I'll second.
And the second reason, I just want to make clear why I wanted to do that is I want to give a chance for the paraeducators to voice their opinion. If they don't voice their opinion, we don't know if they're happy or not. I think Cheryl, I really believe she wants to do the best for all of them. So let's hear if it is the best. I mean, if I don't like something, I would like to be able to come and say, look, why are you transferring? I was doing a good job here. Explain to me why, and then, okay, sounds good, let's do it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
4 ayes.
did you have a second?
I had Bender, a second.
And then we do the hardest next week.
Annual revision of complaint procedure, notice, uniform complaint form, Williams complaint form, policies and procedures.
Mr. President, on behalf of Mrs. Hargis, I will give you a little bit of information. The uniform complaint, which is a complaint that can be filed by anyone, it deals with discrimination and bullying primarily. And that is updated every year. Anytime the CDE comes out with a new policy, we have to update ours to show that we have aligned with California Department of Education. Mrs. Hargis does that every year. And also the Williams, which we just sort of touched on, deals with curriculum, textbooks, teacher misassignments primarily are the three main areas there. And usually when curriculum is purchased, there's around a 10 to 15% additional curriculum purchase to allow for growth and et cetera. So we have not had a Williams complaint in quite some time with regard to curriculum. Because usually we have both print and digital for our students.
Okay, I need a motion to accept.
Make a motion to accept?
Second.
Motion by Hepburn, seconded by Vincelette, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
motion by Vincelette, seconded by Hepburn, all in favor?
Aye.
Doesn't matter, right?
It's okay. 8:22.
Each one.
Same thing.